Arsenal won it the year before, and that was the invincible season.
Yeah.
And Man United weren't the same team, and it just coincided with us, the trajectory of Chelsea going one way, and other teams not only measuring anywhere near where we were.
What is the greatest Premier League achievement, do you think? You mentioned Arsenal, the invincible season, Chelsea conceding 15 goals, and Man City, getting over 100 points. What is the greatest achievement?
There's so many. I mean, the best side I've ever, and I'm biased, the Chelsea side that I saw in 04-05 and 05-06, it had everything. You played against that team, right?
No. Ish. That was 2008.
And we strengthened as well. Michael Essien came in, and there was all over the pitch. Jose went for power, went for physical power, and it was a different time back then. You could play a different way. Yeah, Didier up top, and Frank
bullied everyone, didn't you?
All over the pitch.
Yeah.
All over the pitch. Just bullied everyone physically. And we were the best side. There's no question about that. And of course, football changes. Things happen. Jose eventually fell out with Roman. He left, and then we had to find a different way. And then everyone felt when Roman turned up with his money that Chelsea would dominate for 15, 20 years. It never happened. Football doesn't happen like that. City have found that out. It doesn't happen like that. Teams have got to find a way to combat and have a battle against a side that physically, financially...
15 goals in a season is outrageous, though.
It's just ridiculous. But we scored goals as well. That team...
I mean, you scored a lot of goals that season.
Yeah. Duff, Robin Cole on the flanks.
Yeah.
Didier, Frank Lampard doing the best goal scoring midfield this country's ever seen. Scoring... He scored 20-ish goals that season in all...
Done that every season, didn't he?
Honestly, he was an absolute...
I still think the Arsenal Invincibles, though, is a great
and I get...
go a whole season undefeated. I just think
you can go a whole season undefeated and get relegated.
You're going to draw every game.
Yeah, 38 points. Sometimes you go down. No, you can. There was a time you 38 points sent you down. So being undefeated is one thing, and it's. No, I'm not saying anything away from them. Chelsea lost one game that season. It was at Manchester City, penalty, and Nelka scored it. I remember I was there. And you think how close Chelsea got to being. It's a special achievement. I'm not taking anything away from it at all, but there's many different ways to win a title, and there's many impressive ways you can do it. But to concede 15 goals and still score the goals, Chelsea. Everyone says that Jose, that first time Chelsea were there, Chelsea were not dull. The second season, Chelsea were different under Jose. People clump it together. They're a little bit naive if they look at the same Jose teams at Chelsea. Chelsea weren't like that. We had Duff, Robin, Idager Johnson, Cole. We weren't that team. We were definitely not that team.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Ahmed. He's an Arsenal fan. Ahmed?
Good evening, gents. Jamie, Jason, how are you guys?
Hello, matey.
All right, matey. How are you?
Yeah, you can hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
No.
Amazing. Right. Jason normally does talk bubbles, right? He really is a wind-up merchant. But this time, he's got a point.
Go on.
Super League's coming. It's coming. The reason why, football is boring. It's dead, right? They're slowly basically putting in our mindset with this Club World Cup, how they've selected it. And you know what? It can work. I'll tell you why. One of the callers made a point where it's a bit kind of like, we're going to miss out on the derby matches. But if we copy the NFL format, right, where you play some divisional matches in the season, so that would be like your local teams, but then obviously the majority of the matches would be based around the championship games, which would be the Super League. And that way, you get the big games like we did tonight. I've not seen the game, but I heard the back end of it on the radio because I'm driving back actually from London back up to North, and it sounded like a cracking game. Now, I wish Arsenal had that kind of game, but I'm happy with the 1-0, to be honest with you, because we're a different team to what these teams are. But Super League's definitely coming. It will happen, and it should happen, because football is not the same anymore. Like Jason also mentioned, there's no characters. It's a type of football that needs to compete with another type of football. That's why and to be honest with you, this Champions League format, it's going to grow. It's going to grow on people because it's going to expose a lot of what's happening around the world. There's a lot of stuff that needs changing, and football is one of it, because you're not going to see a Real Madrid winning 3 years Champions League in this type of format. It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are flaws in the new format. We saw a number of teams play against one another in the group stage, and then eventually in the knockout stages.
But just that's what you want, though, right? You want an early, straight from the kickoff, top teams going at it, right? The only problem they've got at the moment, you're still carrying a few lesser teams, right? But you know, PSG had to fight for this position. Real Madrid had to fight, and so does Man City. You want that, and it's going to happen because the games actually meant something. Honestly, genuinely, I've been off football, like not religiously watching Champions League until it gets to the latter stages. And obviously, Arsenal haven't been in many competitions recently. However, this format, honestly, genuinely was exciting.
Yeah, I mean, then you get Liverpool top the group, right? And you know, if you yeah, but they play PSG next round.
Yeah, I know, but
that doesn't feel right. You know, you might as well draw it out of a hat then. You might as well draw it out of a hat.
It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
No, but you know, if Liverpool win every game, I think they drew one and might lose. But they top the whole table, and then they get PSG, and you saw.
This is what the NFL rules should come in play. So the top, for example, the top four.
So it can be improved. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, the top four shouldn't be played until the semi-final. They should automatically.
No, you can't have that. A semi-final.
Yeah, well, even quarter-final then.
All right, make it up as you go along, wouldn't you?
No.
Well, a little bit.
There should be something.
Ahmed, you lost me, mate. You lost me, mate. You lost me.
No, but you saw teams play against one another, and who played against. Was it Villa played? You know, Villa. Their next knockout game, they played against side in the group stage. I think there has. I'm not saying I don't like it. What I'm saying is I think it can be improved. Liverpool played PSG. I don't know how you work that because PSG were terrible in the groups. They nearly went out, if you remember.
Yeah,
Man City nearly. Real Madrid was struggling for one stage as well, and they got through. And eventually, that looks like they got 1 foot in the final. I don't dislike it. I mean, I've got to be honest. I'm not. There was always one team, or tends to be one team, at least one group, who's the boys that everyone beats up. But you look at the bottom of the group stage as well. There's 3 or 4 teams that barely got a point in the group stage. So there's still those boys there. It's the luck of the draw whether you get them or not. And I'm not saying that I'm open to it again, but I think it can be improved.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.